All right. Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome back to another Founders 9 at 9, where you get to join me, Darla Bonk, founder of Darla Bonk Consulting and the host of the Founders 9 at 9 show every Monday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for Happy Monday. Welcome back to another Founders 9 at 9. Let's take that part off. There we go. Where you get to join me for 9 minutes of 9 minutes of motivation to get you started on your way to have a great week. So thank you so much for joining me. Here we go. This week, we're going to be talking about introverted leaders and why you need them. Introverted leaders and why you need them. So I'm going to start off first with a quote, and then we get right into the content, and then we finish up with that quote. So the quote for today is, "Great leaders recognize that introverts bring depth, thoughtfulness, and creativity to the table. By valuing their unique strengths, we unlock the full potential of our teams and drive innovation forward." So I want to talk to you guys today because it's really easy for us who are extroverted to find those who are also extroverted, who are like-minded, and we connect with them, right? We value them, we see them faster, and a lot of times we overlook the value and input that our introverted team members can have, and we overlook them because we relate more to the extrovert. And there's a lot more work involved to pull out that value from an introvert on your team, right? So I want you to think about your leadership team and how well your leaders are bringing up and raising up introverts in your organization. And I want you to think about some incredible introverted leaders in the world that we all know of. Warren Buffett, Gandhi, Abraham Lincoln, Bill Gates, just to name a few, right? They're not those flashy speakers and leaders that you see, but they're moving when they speak. They have something important and relevant to say. Think about the people on your team when they do speak, what the value is that they lend to the discussion. They don't need to talk to hear themselves. They want to talk to bring value to the unit, right? So I want you to think about a few things that you might overlook about an introvert, because they can share some of these qualities that can help anyone improve in a leadership role if they are sitting in a leadership position. Number one, they are calculated and they have a conservative approach to risk taking. They're not afraid to take a risk, but they are great at processing the pros and cons of risk mitigation. Number two, they do have high levels of creativity. They have high levels of creativity. And number three, they have effective problem solving skills. They are constantly processing in the background. They are constantly paying attention to what's going on. They can read the room, right? And number four, they thrive in one-on-one communication. They listen to understand. They're engaged in those conversations. They're not going to interrupt you waiting to say something or waiting to chime in on the conversation. They're going to seek first to understand and then to be understood. And they're constantly processing in the background, like I mentioned, and they likely adopt, as a leader, a coaching leadership style, and they will end up asking thought-provoking questions to get the team thinking differently. Right? They're also great, number five, with written communication. They're great with written communication. They prefer organizing their thoughts before they communicate. So they're probably going to be better in communicating in written form, right? They've got a lot of dexterity, guys, and they're going to allow the team to stay up to date by providing them with a clear roadmap. They're going to be continuing to make sure that communication is up there and everybody on the team knows where we're going in an effective manner. Stephen Hawking once said that quiet people have the loudest minds. Quiet people have the loudest minds. And many times in business meeting, it's the introvert that ends up having the most robust and well-rounded input, insight, or approach. And why is that? Well, it's easy. They've sat back and listened to everybody else's approach, taken it in, processed it, put all of that together, identify the missing pieces, where are the holes, and then now they are presenting a clear path with engagement and involvement from everyone's input that allows there to be a suggestion that is thoughtful, appropriate, strategic, calculated, risk assessing, and communicated in a way everybody can take, right? They're starting to become a little bit more appealing now, aren't they? So how can you as the CEO, how can you as the leader, how can you as a C-suite executive help your leaders lead introverts and find opportunities for these introverts from a succession planning standpoint, from a leadership development roadmap standpoint happen? How can you do this? So, because I want you to remember this, you have this entire organization, right? And in your organization, I promise you, you have introverts that you think are extroverts. They're playing. And I promise you, a lot of people who are extroverts are really introverts, right? So you've got a lot of people who may not be as authentic as you think they are. So number one, I want you to provide a leadership development opportunity for them. Provide a leadership opportunity for them. Figure out how to help them nurture analytical skills, improve their communication more effectively, be more confident in their communication, help them with their relationship building activities, help them feel more comfortable in a public and group setting, and allow the mentor or the leader who's helping them or leading them to identify specifically and strategically that introvert's gifts and talents, and then create a roadmap and a plan for them that's going to help them in being elevated to future positions. Did you know introverts make about 10,000 less than extroverts? Yeah. So it's important and it's meaningful work that you're doing. Number two, I want you to encourage the introverts to participate in collaborative work. A lot of times introverts are going to prefer to work alone, right? But as they prefer to work alone, you want to try to help them feel safe by asking them to get engaged in the public discussion, in the collaborative effort, in helping to solve complex issues, including strategic planning, right? Number three, I want you to make your work environment or assess how well your work environment is introvert friendly. Is it all just type A, go get them, high level, whatever? But really, you actually have an incredible, maybe revenue generator and individual contributor sitting over here as an introvert, but there's not room at the table for them to play. So, how introvert friendly is your organization? A lot of times, office distractions, meetings, those can suck the life out of an introvert, right? So you got to make sure you're being strategic as you lead them. And then the other thing I would say is maybe tailor your office space where there's a quiet place to work, right? And some of you in these big corporate settings do that. But in smaller businesses, you have that opportunity to create that space as well. Get creative with it, right? Maybe ask them to help you, right? Maybe you all work out in the open and that's overwhelming for them. Where's a space that occasionally, maybe throughout the day or throughout the week, they could go and work independently within the office, still being a part of, but not having to be sucked into every single conversation that's happening in the organization. And number four, I want you to audit your protocols to set your introverts up for success. I want you to assess your protocols. I want you to allow for them to have maybe a little bit more time for deeper reflection on projects. Is their timeline appropriate for the way that they work and operate? Maybe you seek direct feedback from them instead of calling them out on the spot, asking for their feedback. And you nurture a way for both of you to work as the leader and the mentee to get them more comfortable to provide feedback in a group setting, right? So remember, great leaders recognize that introverts bring depth, thoughtfulness, and creativity to the table. By valuing their unique strengths, we can unlock the full potential of our teams and drive innovation forward. All right, guys, that is 9 minutes at 9 a.m. on Monday. I'll see you back here next week. Have a great week.